Hello, welcome to Phoenix TV. Great to have you here. In this episode of Breaking the Ceiling in Toxic Hustle Culture, we explore the power of community, collaboration, and generosity in a world obsessed with competition. Lifting as you climb is about rejecting the myth that success is a solo journey and embracing the truth that when we rise together, we rise stronger. Join me as we uncover how to build authentic connections, mentor with intention, and create a ripple effect of empowerment that dismantles toxic hustle culture from inside out. Welcome back to Breaking the Ceiling in Toxic Hustle Culture. I'm so glad you're here for today's episode, Lifting as You Climb. I'm your host, Corinne Brown, Leadership Results Coach. In hustle culture, we're often told that success means racing to the top alone, fighting, grinding, and outpacing everyone else. But here's the truth. Real success isn't about stepping over others. It's about reaching back and pulling others up with you. I want you to think about the people who believed in you, who opened a door, offered encouragement, or gave you an opportunity when you needed it most. Their support wasn't just about your journey, it was about planting seeds for you to grow and eventually do the same for others. That's what lifting as you climb is all about. It's an antidote to toxic hustle culture. Instead of scarcity and competition, it's rooted in abundance, compassion, and collective strength. When we mentor, support, and encourage others, we create a ripple effect, a culture of generosity where each success story becomes the foundation for another. But let's be real, it isn't always easy. In competitive environments, we're conditioned to believe that someone else's success takes away from our own. That's a lie hustle culture has sold us. The reality is, when we help others grow, we strengthen the whole ecosystem around us. And that's when the magic happens. Collaboration over competition. So how can we actually lift as we climb? Let me share 3 practical steps with you. Step 1, mentorship with intention. Be generous with your knowledge and your network. A few words of guidance can change someone's path entirely. Step 2, celebrate, don't compare. When someone around you achieves something, celebrate it. Their win doesn't diminish your worth. And step 3, create space at the table. Success isn't about keeping the table exclusive. It's about adding more chairs so more voices are heard. Imagine the kind of workplaces, communities, and friendships we'd create if this became the norm. Instead of burning out in the toxic hustle, we'd be building each other up, thriving together. Lifting as you climb is leadership in its truest form. It's about leaving every person, every space, a little stronger than you found it. And lifting as we climb is a mind shift towards collective growth. In a world shaped by hustle culture, success is often framed as a race to the top, an individual climb marked by personal achievement, status, and recognition. This perspective, while deeply ingrained, comes with a silent cost. Isolation, competition, and the belief that scarcity rules the game. Yet there is another way of viewing success, one rooted not in competition but in connection, not in exclusion but in inclusion. This is the philosophy of lifting as we climb. At its heart, lifting as we climb is not just an action, it's a mind shift. It challenges us to redefine what it means to succeed and encourages us to view the climb not as an isolated journey, but as a shared one. Instead of rushing upward alone, we pause, extend a hand, and bring others along with us. What happens when we shift from scarcity to abundance? Well, scarcity mindset tells us that there isn't enough room at the top, that helping someone else succeed diminishes our own chances. This belief fuels toxic competition and the pressure to guard knowledge, networks, and opportunities. But lifting as we climb reshapes this view. When we help others rise, we expand the possibilities. We see that opportunities are not limited. but abundant when shared. Every person we empower adds new value to the collective, creating more innovation, more collaboration, and more impact than one person could ever achieve alone. So what happens when we move from self-focus to collective purpose? Well, toxic hustle culture often whispers, it's about me, my growth, my results, my achievements. This self-focus isolates us, disconnecting us from the communities that sustain us. But by choosing to lift others, we begin to see leadership and success differently. It's no longer about reaching the top for ourselves. It's about ensuring others have the support, access, and encouragement to climb too. This collective purpose reframes leadership as stewardship, leaving people, teams, and spaces stronger than we found them. Let's redefine strength. There's a common misconception that strength is shown by how high we climb alone, how much we can endure, or how far we can push ourselves beyond others. But true strength lies in vulnerability, empathy, and generosity, the courage to stop competing and start connecting. When we lift others as we rise, we embody a different kind of strength. The strength to say, we all belong here, there is space for you too. This is the strength that transforms workplaces, communities, and families into places where belonging thrives. Let's understand that perspective of no one left behind. Adopting this mindset allows us to see the climb itself differently. Success is no longer a lonely peak, but a shared journey where our progress is measured by how many others rise with us. When we commit to not leaving anyone behind, we create a culture of accountability, where silence in the face of inequality, exclusion, or injustice is no longer acceptable. This perspective fuels movements, builds inclusive leadership, and inspires change at every level of society. It shifts us from asking, how can I get ahead, to how can we rise together? Let's do a deep dive into the ripple effect of generosity. One act of lifting as we climb can ripple outwards in ways we may never see. A single piece of advice, an introduction, or a moment of encouragement might empower someone to take a step they were too afraid to take. That step can lead to another, and eventually to a transformation, not just for them, but for everyone they influence along their own climb. When we realise the power of this ripple effect, we stop underestimating the small moments. We begin to live with greater intention, knowing that each gesture support carries weight far beyond ourselves. Here's my final reflection. Lifting as we climb is more than kindness. It is a conscious act of defiance against isolating, competitive narrative, or toxic hustle culture. It's a choice to shift from scarcity to abundance, from self-focus to collective purpose, and from climbing alone to rising together. This perspective doesn't just change how we lead, it changes how we live. It reminds us that true success is not measured by reaching the summit, but by ensuring no one is left behind on the way up. Here are my 5 top tips to shift from ambition to meaning through life living as we climb. Number 1, redefine success beyond titles and milestones. Instead of measuring success solely by promotions, accolades, or personal achievements, redefine it by the impact you have on others. Ask yourself, who did I help? Who did I encourage? What ripple did I create? True meaning comes from not how high you climb, but how many people rise with you. Number 2, practice generosity with knowledge and opportunities. Ambition often drives us to protect what we know, fearing competition. Meaning, however, comes from sharing openly, mentoring, teaching, and connecting others to opportunities. When you give freely, you create an ecosystem of trust and collaboration where success multiplies. Number 3, celebrate collective wins over individual gains. Shift your focus from I did to we did it. When you make it a habit to celebrate others' successes, whether big or small, you step out of comparison and into connection. This simple act transforms environments from competitive to supportive. Number 4, create space for others at the table. Ambition can tempt us to guard our seat at the table. Meaning comes from pulling up extra chairs, amplifying overlooked voices, and ensuring inclusivity. Leadership rooted in lifting others shows that power lies in expanding opportunities, not hoarding them. And number 5, anchor your journey in legacy, not ego. Ambition chases recognition. Meaning builds legacy. Ask yourself, what do I want to be remembered for? Chances are it won't be the awards or titles. It will be the lives you touched, the people you lifted, and the doors you opened along the way. When ambition transforms into meaning, climbing no longer feels like a lonely race. It becomes a shared journey filled with purpose, connection, and impact. Lifting as you climb is the bridge between personal success and collective legacy. So as you rise, remember you don't need to climb alone. Offer your hand, share your wisdom, celebrate someone else's success as much as your own. Because together we can break the ceiling on toxic hustle culture and build something far more powerful, something that lasts. Thank you for your company today. I look forward to you joining me for my next episode, Redefining Success on Your Own Terms, where we will dive into what success is, its impact on how it influences your life. Until next time, keep climbing and don't forget to lift as you do. I'm Corinne Brown. Thank you for joining me today. Catch you on the flip side.